The Lord first expanded himself in the universal form of the Purusha incarnation and manifested all the ingredients for the material creation. And thus, at first, there was the creation of 16 principles of material action. This was for the purpose of creating the material universes. End of the translation. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. In Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavad Gita states that the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna maintains these material universes by extending his plenary expansions. So, this Purusha form is the confirmation of the same principle. The original personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, or Lord Krishna, who is famous as the son of Vasudeva or King Nanda, is full with all opulences, all potencies, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation. A part of his opulence is manifested as impersonal Brahman, and a part of his opulence is manifested as Paramatma. This Purusha feature of the same personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is the original Paramatma manifestation of the Lord. There are 3 Purusha features in the material creation, and this form, who is known as Karnadakshay Vishnu, is the first of the 3. The others are known as Garbhodakshay Vishnu and Kshirodakshay Vishnu. Which we shall know one after another. The innumerable universes are generated from the skin holes of Karnadakshay Vishnu, and in each one of the universes, the Lord enters as Garbhodakshay Vishnu. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is also mentioned that in the material world is created at certain intervals and then again destroyed. This creation and destruction is done by the supreme will because of the conditioned souls or Nitya Baddha living beings. The Nitya Baddha or eternally conditioned souls have the sense of individuality or ahankara, which dictates to them sense enjoyment, which they are unable to have constitutionally. The Lord is the only enjoyer, and all the others are enjoyed. The living beings are predominated enjoyers, but the eternally conditioned souls, forgetful of this constitutional position, have strong aspirations to enjoy. The chance to enjoy matter is given to the conditioned soul in the material world, and side by side they are given the chance to understand their real constitutional position. Those fortunate living entities who catch the truth and surrender unto the lotus feet of Vasudeva, after many births in the material world, join the eternally liberated souls, and thus are allowed to enter the kingdom of Godhead. After this, such fortunate living entities need to come again within the occasional material creation. But those who cannot catch the constitutional truth are again merged into Mahatattva at the time of annihilation of the material creation. When the creation is again set up, this Mahatattva is again let loose. The Mahatattva contains all the ingredients of material manifestations, including the conditioned souls. Primarily, this Mahatattva is divided into 16 parts, namely the 5 gross material elements and the 11 working instruments or senses. It is like the cloud in the clear sky. In the spiritual sky, the effulgence of Brahman is spread all around, and the whole system is dazzling in spiritual light. The Mahatattva is assembled in some corner of the vast, unlimited spiritual sky, and be the part which is thus covered by Mahatattva is called the material sky. This part of the spiritual sky called the Mahatattva is only an insignificant portion of the whole spiritual sky. Within this Mahatattva, there are innumerable universes. All these universes are collectively produced by Karanadakshaya Vishnu, also called Mahavishnu, who simply throws his glance to impregnate the material sky. Om Ajnantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripasindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this portion of the Bhagavatam is directly related with the assembly of the sages at Naimisharanya, who are asking 6 principal questions. First 6 questions asked in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The first 6 questions asked in the Bhagavatam are, number 1, what is the ultimate good for everybody, people in general? And the second question was, what is the essence of all scriptures? And the third question was, what was the purpose of Krishna's appearance? And the fourth question was that the Shaunakadi Rishi, the 88,000 sages represented by Shaunak Rishi, wanted to know about the Purusha avatars. So now we are at the Purusha avatara section. The 5th question was about the Leela avatars, and the 6th and the final question out of the first 6 questions was, where did the religion take shelter after disappearance of Krishna? So again, The answer to the first question is, what is the ultimate good? What is the ultimate answer to the what is ultimate good? Is to develop love of God through bhakti. What should everybody be doing? What should everybody be working on? The Bhagavatam says, or Sut Goswami here says, that everybody should be working on developing love of God through bhakti. And the second question was, what is the essence of all Vedic scriptures? And in the second chapter, Sut Goswami gave the answer. The essence of all Vedic scriptures is devotional service. Devotional service, to execute devotional service, one should execute devotional service. Bhakti is the essence of all Vedic scriptures that he mentioned in the second chapter, starting with the Savaya Pumsa Parodharmo verse. And then he explained the glories of bhakti, and then he gave the steps of bhakti. And now he is finished with the bhakti, and he is taking the third question. Then he gave the answer to the third question. The third question was, what was the purpose of Krishna's appearance? And the answer is to reclaim those human beings who are in the mode of goodness. Those who are in the mode of goodness, Krishna wants to reclaim them. That is the purpose of his appearance, given in the 34th verse of the second chapter. Fourth question, which is what we are at now, is Purushavatars. So now Sut Goswami is answering the Purushavatara question. Then he will go to the Leela Avatar questions, and then he will go into the glories of the Bhagavatam, known as the answer to the question, where did Dharma take shelter? Right there in the Srimad Bhagavatam, after Krishna's disappearance. Yeah. Do we need this?
Well, I think we do for the kitchen to hear. So I think it's my phone that needs to be muted.
Can the echo go down?
No, I think I'll just mute my phone, and then when it's time for the Zoom man to contribute, then we'll unmute
You think this is causing the echo?
Yeah,
Oh,
I do.
I thought this mic was causing it.
I think this is the one. I think because they both are on. So I think I'll try to mute this one. So that helps. You can still see everybody.
Okay,
Is that any better?
that's better. I can still see Lucy Ann and Mother Radhika. So the summary of the third chapter. Sorry. Go ahead. Somebody
We were
said.
hearing all these things, but now we cannot hear. That was what happened.
It was perfect before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so let's put them back on.
we can put you back on.
Roj.
So maybe we don't need that one, but I have no idea how to deal with it.
It was
We were able to
perfect.
hear before, Mataji.
Okay.
Now we cannot hear.
Is it okay now?
Yes.
So, in the summary of the third chapter, the first 5 verses, 1 to 5, are dedicated to explaining the Purushavatar. Out of that, first one explains Mahavishnu.
I'm gonna check if the kitchen can hear.
And it talks about ingredients for material creation. First of all, Mahavishnu is Karnadakshay Vishnu, who is laying down in the Karan ocean. It's also called Karana Jal or Karana Jala. And that is the perspiration of his body that he creates and he lays down in it. And then out of the skin holes of his body, he produces these universes. Every universe is produced out of these skin holes. In the next 2 to 5 verses, Garbhodakshay Vishnu is more focused upon. And from verse 6 to 27, all the other incarnations are named and explained. So that's how the 3rd chapter goes. I was thinking that this verse starts with in the beginning of the creation. It reminds me of Madhupadyavali. Remember Madhupadyavali? So there was a devotee who I would not name. And of course, until Madhupadyavali was here, everybody who is in trouble has to be produced in front of Madhupadyavali. And Madhupadyavali would give them a chance to explain themselves, say their side of the story. And Madhupadyavali would patiently hear them out. But this one particular devotee, if you ask him about anything to explain, he would go so far back.
Well, my parents got married in.
He would go so far back. And then, of course, Madhupadyavali was taking all this information and she had to report to the board. Every time she would take all these statements and whatever you call them, this person's side of the story, and bring it to the council. And it would be tough for her to bring. So she would laugh every time. Say, first he started with the beginning of the creation. So this, in the beginning of the creation, gave me that fond memory of Madhupadyavali and us all sitting down in the temple council, hearing the reports of the beginning of the creation. So, in the first verse of the 3rd chapter of the 1st canto, the beginning of creation is right here. The Lord first expanded himself in the universal form of Purusha incarnation. So, these Purusha incarnation question refers to first expansion of the Supreme Lord for this material world. Jagrahe means accepted. Parusham, Rupam. Parusham is the Purusha avatar. Rupam is the form that the Supreme Lord, Jagrahe, accepted Purusham, Purusha avatar, Rupam, form. And the ingredients, next thing is the ingredients. Sambhutam Shodasha Kalam. Shodasha Kalam, Shodasha is 16. 16 Kalam is the 16 primary principles or ingredients, the ingredients. So we know that Some places there are primary ingredients to be said to be 24. Some places it's 23. Some places it's 16. Some places it's 11. Which one is it? Actually, they're all correct, depending upon which perspective you are looking at. So here is talking about 16 ingredients. So 16 ingredients, 5 are given and the 11 are not given by Srila Prabhupada in the purport. The 5 ingredients are earth, air, water, fire, ether. And then he says 11 others. So I heard explanation, correct me if I'm wrong, that these 11 could be referring to 5 knowledge acquiring senses, 5 working senses, and 1 to be the most important one, which is man, or the mind. That is the explanation I heard, that these 11 ingredients are 5 knowledge acquiring senses, 5 working senses, and 1 man. And of course, this is 11. You add the 5 gross elements, that makes it 16 principal primary principles, or 16 primary principal ingredients for this material world given here. After the, so when we say 24 ingredients to 16, we add the buddhi and ahankar, mind and false ego. So that becomes 18. And then you add 5 sense perceptions, or what do you call them? Taste, touch, something to see, what the senses want. What are they called? 5 objects of the senses. So you add the 5 objects of the senses to this 16, that gives us 21, and then you add the buddhi, that gives us 18, and 18? No.
You have the buddhi in get.
Mind, intelligence, ego.
Yeah, mind, intelligence, false ego. Okay, let's. Sorry? Yeah, in the 16, the mind is included. So to the 16, let's start from the 16 that are given in this verse. 16 we already discussed. Add to 16 the 5 objects of the senses, and that would make it 21. And then you add the man is already there, buddhi and ahankar, that would give us 23. And the 24th ingredient,
The aggregate is sometimes.
yeah. And the 24th ingredient is, of course, me, the Jivatma, or the soul, who is the part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. That would make total of 24. So when you count 23, then you're counting all the ingredients minus me, or minus the soul. That would make it 23, because soul is not really material, is spiritual. So sometimes it's counted, because if I am made of, or everybody is made of these 24 ingredients. So sometimes, or most times, soul is not counted there, so that makes it 23. And sometimes they say 11. 11 means the knowledge acquiring senses, the perception senses, the main senses, and man. So different ways it's given. So Srila Prabhupada is quoting the Bhagavad Gita here, that the Bhagavad Gita states that the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna maintains these material universes by extending his plenary expansions. So this Purusha form is the confirmation of the same principle. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna never really talks about the Purusha avatars, Karunadakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Kshirodakshay Vishnu. None of this is discussed by Krishna that I could find. But Srila Prabhupada, in the purport to Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, 20th verse, he gives the connection, this connection that he is making to the Bhagavad Gita from the Bhagavatam. He is connecting in the Bhagavad Gita back to the Bhagavatam in this verse, in this paragraph that I would like you to consider. And if you have any better suggestion, we will be open to that. In the last purport, last paragraph of the Bhagavad Gita, 10:20, Srila Prabhupada says, the three Purusha avatars are described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So this, I think, is the direct connection. They are also described in the Narad Pancha Ratra. Vishnu tu trini rupani purukshani atho vidu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests three features as Karnadakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and Kshirodakshay Vishnu. In this material manifestation, the Mahavishnu or Karnadakshay Vishnu is described in the Brahma Samhita 5:47. Ya Karanavajale bhajati sama yoga nidram. The Supreme Lord Krishna, the cause of all causes, lies down in the cosmic ocean as Mahavishnu. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the beginning of this universe, the maintainer of this universe, of the universal manifestation, and the end of all energies. So this is the verse in the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says, I am the beginning of the universe, of everything. I am the end of everything, and I am in the middle of everything. I think this is the connection that I could find. But again, if there is a better connection, I am open to having that suggestion. So, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Sarva Karana Karanam is Krishna himself, and that Sarva Karana Karanam for the material creation ends up becoming his expansion known as Karnadakshay Vishnu. Karnadakshay Vishnu we call the cause of all causes who resides in the causal ocean. So Sarva Karana Karanam in that sense is Karnadakshay Vishnu. There's an interesting story about the Karnadakshay Vishnu or Mahavishnu in the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam in the chapter 89. What happens is when Krishna was in Dwarka, was acting as Dwarkadhish, perceived, looked upon to be the king, although he never was really the king. He always had Agrasen to be the ruling king. But of course, he was uh, really looked upon as the king. So one Brahmana was complaining. One old Brahmana came to complain to Krishna or to the court that the king in this uh, kingdom is no good. Why? Because my children are dying in front of me. If the king is good, then children should not be dying in front of the father. So he claimed that no, this is no good. Whatever you're doing, there is something wrong. And Krishna and Balram and Agrasen and everybody was busy performing yagyas and doing all the welfare, whereas this Brahmana is standing right against them and said, no, no way. You're doing something wrong, something is not right. So Arjuna was visiting. So Arjuna tries to console this Brahmana. He said, okay, please tell me, what is your issue? So this Brahmana says, look, the king in this kingdom is not able to protect my children, my babies. They die soon as they're born. I have lost 8 children. Soon as they're born, they die. They go away. They disappear. Now, I'm expecting a 9th one. I want protection. Somebody to give me protection because the king is not being able to give me protection. Arjuna said, okay, I will take this on. I will protect you. I will protect your children. I will protect your newborn. I will not let anybody take your newborn. I said, well, what if you fail? I said, you know, I am Arjuna. But of course, the battle of Kurukshetra has not taken place yet. And this is Dwarka. So this Brahmana, he goes, what does that mean? Arjuna doesn't mean anything to me. What will you do if you do not succeed? So, I will enter fire. I will enter into fire if I'm not able to save your newborn. So, okay. So now Arjuna is standing outside the little hut where this Brahmana's wife is just about to give birth. And he's holding his bow and arrow. And he takes these arrows and makes a shield around the whole hut. And this shield was so powerful that let alone Yamraj, none of the demigods were able to cross it. No demigods had the power to go through this shield. And the Brahmana's son was born and disappeared. Still, Arjuna was not able to protect. Gone. And now he's saying, there is no king here, there is nobody to protect me. What am I going to do now? Enter fire. So Arjuna failed, and he had given his word that he would enter fire, so preparing to enter the fire. And of course, Krishna shows up at the last moment and says, no, don't enter fire. But Krishna I promised him. I said, okay. You promised to protect his son. So we will bring his son back. The chapter is named Krishna and Arjuna bring the 9 sons back of the Brahmana. Something like that. So this is before the battle of Kurukshetra. Arjuna has some idea but is not completely clear that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna takes Arjuna, okay, we will go find the boy. Get on my chariot. We'll go to the Yamloka. So they start with the Yamloka. And Yamraj says, no, I don't have that Brahmana's son. I didn't kill him. Arjuna had made the shield to protect the hut. I've been watching from here. There's no way. So they went further and they went further. So they, with this chariot, Krishna took Arjuna outside of the outside covering of this universe. Outside. And finally, checking with all the authorities, they reach the final authority in this material world, which is Karnadaksha Vishnu. And Karnadaksha Vishnu, of course, gives them a grand welcome. I've been waiting for you. Thank you for coming, giving me darshan, and so on and so forth. And Krishna finally tells him that, look, we are looking for these boys, and we can't find them anywhere in the universe. They're nowhere. Do you know where they are? He said, yeah. I have them all here. It's me who's been stealing them. They're all here, playing very nicely, being looked after by so many babysitters, royal babysitters. They're all happily playing with their toys and being absolutely blissful. If you want, you can take them. But Arjuna is puzzled. This guy almost costed me my life. And Krishna is also looking puzzled. And Krishna asks Mahavishnu, why did you do that? Why have you been picking up these children from this Brahmana's house? He said, no, I just wanted to have your darshan. You never come here to give me your darshan. And you haven't given me any reason to go to where you are to have your darshan. So I thought, if I want to have your darshan, then I have to do it another way. I knew that if I keep taking these children of this Brahmana, ultimately the buck will stop at you, and you will come to find them, and I will have a good chance to offer my obeisances unto your lotus feet and give all these children back to you. So, I heard in one lecture, although the Bhagavatam doesn't state, that at that time, Krishna asked Mahavishnu, okay, you've had my darshan, ask what you want. Ask for something. I'm standing right in front of you. Ask for something. And Mahavishnu at that time kind of indicated that I am never any part of your Leela. You go to so many material worlds and perform so many Leelas, and I never get a chance. So Krishna says, so be it. Next time I come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you can come as Advaitacharya. You can be My guru, in a way, Advaitacharya was kind of not a way, really, a guru in terms of academics. The Advaitacharya had the school where Vishwarup was educated before Vishwambar. Vishwambar is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Vishwarup is his older brother. And his older brother, after getting education from Advaitacharya, became so knowledgeable or advanced or whatever you call it, and he decided to take sannyas. To which Mother Sachi had an issue that what kind of education is this? You're giving education to my children and they're taking sannyas in the childhood. So she took a vow that, okay, I've lost Vishwarup, but I'm not going to give this Vishwambar to this Advaitacharya because he is going to make sure that this one takes sannyas as well. So she tried that, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had his own ways. He convinced her to send her to school again, and he learned from Advaitacharya. So, Mahavishnu, there are not so many known incarnations of Mahavishnu other than in Chaitanya Charitamrita. In the Chaitanya Leela, Mahavishnu comes as Advaitacharya. Any questions or discussions? Sorry, we were late in starting the class today and we finished the time already. Any questions or discussion on what we have discussed? So to wrap this up, this is the first verse of the third chapter, and Sut Goswami is starting with the creation, introducing the first Purusha avatar and introducing the 16 ingredients of this material world, going into Mahatattva and so on. And in the next verse, we will be going to Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and on these first few verses, to explain these verses, there are chapters later in the Bhagavatam. So right now, just like an introduction, just a touch, and then there's chapters to explain the workings of Karnadakshaya Vishnu and workings of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and so on. Karnadakshaya Vishnu is the soul of the whole, super soul of this whole material manifestation. And Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is the soul of this particular universe, super soul of this particular universe, and in the form of Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, that Kshirodakshaya Vishnu is the representation of that super soul that is residing within each one of us jivas, no matter which one of the 84 million species that 8,400,000 species that you talk about. Thank you very much. Any questions or comments? Yes, please.
I was just enjoying your class very much. Thank you. Love the way you tell the stories. I was also enjoying that in the verse we learned that Krishna provided the raw material for his employees to do their job, which is, like good boss.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of a story, sort of a joke. Like not so much nowadays, but 20, 40 years ago, scientists were like, we don't need God because
Yes.
we can do it all in the lab. So one scientist was telling this to God. He was saying, we don't need you anymore. We can do it all ourselves.
Yeah.
And God is like, oh really? Okay, well, tell me how you do it. And the scientist said, well, first we take some dirt. And God interrupted and said, get your own dirt.
Yeah. Make one seed.
Yeah.
In India, there is this famous farmer movement, and they want to call the farmer the Annadata.
What's that mean?
Annadata is the giver. Annadata is basically God.
Food carrier.
Yeah.
Food giver.
Yeah, Annadata is the name of God in terms of providing food. So ask a farmer to bring a seed from somewhere, bring some dirt from somewhere, and bring some water from somewhere. If you can bring these things, put them together, and grow something, then we will call you Annadata. Annadata is God. We just take the seed given by Krishna, sow it in the soil given by Krishna, give it water given by Krishna, and we want to call ourselves the producer. Thank you. Anybody on the Zoom? Okay, thank you very much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.
There you go. Akrura Prabhuji, jai.
Hare Krishna.